The End of New Sodom: Prepare the World for Post-America. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Source: The Legal Information Institute, Cornell Law School. I awoke in the 1990s when the US sanctionized and bombed my parents' country, Yugoslavia. A small European Union of 24 million multi-ethnic, multi-religious, well-educated people, industrialized and good diplomatic ties with many countries. It never attacked America, UK or Germany or others, but they viciously attacked it themselves, killed tens of thousands, then economically raped the successor states. I knew the mainstream media was lying, and people were full of hate, hated me just because I was a Serb. Serbs were the white niggers, as the living Marxism from July 1992 called them. The propaganda was part of a Goebbels textbook strategy. They viciously hated Serbs because they saw it on TV and knew nothing about the people there. The finger of hate was pointed at us at that time, but it is always someone and not their own problems. How can you hate someone you do not know? How can you kill the children of those you know nothing about? This culminated in the 78-day illegal bombing into the Stone Age of 1999, with 3,000 civilians killed, NATO still occupying Kosmet, Kosovo Metohija, part of southern Serbia. They forget that United Nations Resolution 1244 guarantees Serbia's territorial integrity, but harp on about Ukraine. Surely this has laid the foundations of the next European war, which undoubtedly a resurgent Germany will be cheerleading. Despite liking America and visiting it, I knew something was wrong, deeply wrong. They wrap themselves up in the flag, beat their left breast and harp on about democracy and why they are the best country in the world. They hate socialists, despise their fellow man, their own neighbors, and they glorify the mega rich. Yet they have 100 million poor, love the Federal Reserve dollar and wage eternal war on those who never attacked them, while fantasizing over the biggest porn industry in the world. Life is cheap. If the cops do not kill you, a mass shooter will, or your fake hexane cleaned food, or even lack of health care. Forget and move on. God bless America is their mantra. But which God? Research and be enlightened. Satan runs America. Lucifer's proud statue stands at Ellis Island. They mock us in public, in movies, music, war, education, politics, and economics. They hide and deceive, a web of confusion, fakery, deceit, lies. But tell me, if everything is so good, why is the real state of affairs so dire? And since the 1970s. Empires wax and wane. Untergang des Abendlandes, The Decline of the West, as Oswald Spengler wrote. The 250th anniversary of the 1776 War of Independence is coming in 2026. A war over 2% tax without representation was started by colonists and settlers, pitched as a freedom struggle, but it was really a Masonic takeover. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, James Otis, and Paul Revere, and many others were Freemasons. And who stands behind Freemasonry? A nation which has been at war for nearly 95% of its history is addicted to killing. It needs a war on its own territory. See its cities carpet bombed, raging famine and disease, economic misery, and children murdered in schools. All these it has mercilessly forced on others without any consequences or even guilt to itself. Just forget it. They are indeed addicted to war, just like their evil master. They have nearly 900 military bases outside the US and spend $1 trillion worth of budget for military officially. Unofficially, who knows how much more it is? Since 1950, we have seen the division of Korea, carpet bombing of Laos, Cambodia, invasions of Afghanistan, Iraq, and the utter destruction of both Yugoslavia and Libya. The war in Ukraine should not have happened and was started by the CIA, hoping for a quick win against Russia. It was yet another coup. Then the Yugoslav wars from 1991 to 1999, with millions of refugees and hundreds of thousands killed or injured, so that NATO could have a war base in Kosmet to further their illegal wars. At least 10 million civilians killed since 1950, with CIA planning and executing nearly 100% of all coups to create chaos, order from chaos. They create the chaos, then create their own order by mass murder, and the cycle continues. Peace is un-American. The IMF and World Bank create servitude in the South, Africa and Latin America. They force privatization, reform and austerity, stealing resources from poor people in resource-rich countries, propping up dictators who fight for their own people. An empire run by Zionist Jews for the benefit of Israel as a resource colony on tap does not work for the benefit of its own people, the ones who have to pay taxes or go to jail, the working class who can barely survive and are the backbone of any society. The fact that God has abandoned America means its destruction is imminent. The US is under Jewish occupation and oppression. It will never end unless God himself finishes it. The price one pays for worshipping the evil one. 100 million poor barely survive, living in their cars or tent cities in LA and other places. There are 500 million firearms, both registered and not. What are they waiting for? Aux armes, citoyens! The Second Amendment from 1791, the right to bear arms against a tyrannical government, was declared not to kill your neighbour over a fence dispute or shoot up your school with an AR because you hate your teachers and fellow pupils, or your day trade went badly. The time is relentlessly approaching. Movies, justice, banking, media, corporations are all controlled, but not for your benefit. A cesspit of hate, depression, and angst has been created, exported to other countries. Feminism, sexual perversion, BLM, child rape, mental illness and psychology, destruction of the family, abortion. Does it all sound familiar? Sodom was destroyed by God for its extravagant sin. They even wanted to have anal sex, homosexuality, with two angels whom the Lord himself sent. Utter evil. Then the Lord rained down burning sulphur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. Genesis 19, verses 24 to 25, New International Version. So, what does a future world whole look like? Peace, workers united, wealthy, owning fruits of their own labor, happy families, healthy people, excellent education and health care for citizens, no compulsion, sanctions, or threats, no resource theft, America smouldering, laying in vast ruins, taken out by its own hands, its own citizens having fought a well-armed, well-propagandized, tyrannical, satanic, one-world government. But the tsunami of destruction will eventually become serene. We are preparing for post-America. The future is BRICS.